Hey guys, James Howard here doing a video for wecaninspire.net. Today we're going to be talking about intervals, what they are, and how to find them on the guitar. Before I get into that, please hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps us out quite a bit. Now, let's get into the material. So when we're talking about intervals, we're talking about the distance between two pitches, two notes. You can have some intervals that are really close together, and those generally will sound pretty crunchy. And we can have far apart intervals, and that gives us the opportunity to be a little bit more adventurous. But let's go ahead and start with our basic major and minor intervals to begin with. So we have our C major scale and C minor scale up on the board here, and we can see that they only differ by 3 notes. C is all the white keys on the piano, or all of the notes just named with no sharps or flats, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And then C minor, we have 4 of the same notes, C, D, and F, G are shared. But E goes to E flat, A goes to A flat, B goes to B flat. Now, if I play those out on the guitar, they sound like this. C major, and C minor. So, many of our intervals are named based on what their relationship to a root note in a major or minor scale would be. So, for example, our first interval that we have is the second from C to D, and that's shared between the major and minor scale. C to D, right there. We can play that like this, but these notes are pretty close together, so they don't often sound great. So often we will play the ninth, which is really just the 8th plus 1, right? So that's still a D, but just 1 higher, and that would sound like this. Then we have the major third from the major scale. That's C to E, C, D, E. There's C and E. There's lots of ways to play the major third. I'll get into that a little bit more in detail later. Then we have our perfect fourth, C to F, C, D, E, F. There's C, F right there. And that one is shared between both scales, the minor and major. Then we got the perfect fifth, C to G, same thing in the minor and major scales. That's why we call it perfect. Then we have C to A, our major sixth. We can play that here on the first and second strings, or we can play it here on the first and third strings. We've also got C to B, our major seventh, and then finally our octave. Now, from the minor scale, we're going to have a lot of the same intervals, but we're going to have 3 different ones that we specify based on calling it a minor third rather than a major third or major 6 or 7. So C to D, still there. C to E flat is our minor third. And we play that in this shape. Anywhere on the fretboard that we want to call a minor third will be like this. Then we've got C to F, the same perfect fourth, excuse me. C to G, the perfect fifth. Then we have C to A flat, the minor sixth. We can play that here, we play that here, play it a lot of places. Then we've got B flat, the minor seventh. C to B flat. And then we are back to the octave at C to C. So, I'm just going to share some of my particular personal favorite interval voicings on the guitar. So, the obvious one here is the major third. This one is very commonly used. It sounds really nice, really consonant. We can also move that third up to what we would call a 10th by moving it up an octave. So we go up an octave from here, and we have a major third, but separated by an octave. Those are like the 2 most common ways to play major thirds. Also, we have the fourth, which we can play here. We can also play it 1 octave higher, and that would give us the sound of a 4th interval. Then we got the fifth. We can play the fifth here, which is kind of standard. That's where your power chord is built off of. We can also play the fifth right there. That is another voicing for the fifth. That was the 8th fret on the E string, and the 8th fret on the B string. So kind of line up your fingers and have them span 5 strings. Then we got the major 6th, C to A. That one we can play on the E and A string like this, or we can move it up to the D string and we can play the same note. The major 7th, right here, that's a really nice way to play the major 7th. We can also play it on the high E string. It sounds pretty nice that way. If you can incorporate that into chord voicings, it's nice. I usually will do that like that. And then we got the octave. Octave's easy. And then we just got the minor 3rd, and the minor 6th, and the minor 7th to go. So the minor 3rd is start on C, go over 2 frets to the left, and go 1 string up. That's a minor 3rd. We can also play a minor 3rd right here. Now we have the minor 6th, which was C to A flat. We can play that right here or right here. We got the minor 7th last, which goes right here. Now, those are just our voicings from root on the E string. If we move up a string to A, then we can get even more different voicings. Particularly when we move to our voicings on the B string. That would be a minor 2nd. Oh my god. I'm sorry about that phone call in the middle of my video. We got a minor 2nd here, or a minor 9th because it's moved an octave up. We've got a minor 3rd here, a major 3rd, a perfect 4th, and a perfect 5th. Now, you may have noticed that there are some intervals that were not covered by either these major or minor scales. And there's only a couple of them, but they're pretty interesting. We have the flat 2, which would be C to D flat, which is 1 fret right next to each other. We call that the flat 2 because we can't designate it with major or minor, and it's just 1 note directly to the right of on the fretboard of the note that you start with. Another one that we don't have is between our perfect 4th and the perfect 5th. The perfect 4th is here, perfect 5th is here, but what's this? We either call this an augmented 4th or a diminished 5th. Yeah, that's about it. So, I hope you learned something from our video on intervals and how we classify them and what we call them. Thanks a lot.